So, hello everyone. It's good to see you all after a long time. So, let us start with our grade 8 geography. The name of our book is Resources and Development. So, the book completely deals with different type of resources, how they're developed and how they're helpful in the life of man. Now, the first topic, the first chapter in our book is about the term resource. So, it defines resources and it classifies the types of resources. So let us start with the first topic, the resources. First of all, when you see the term resource, it can be in anything which helps in fulfilling our needs. So it is termed like anything which fulfills or which satisfies our needs can be considered as a resource. It can be like air, it can be a water, it can be a car, mobile phone. There's some examples what I have given. So it can be any other thing, like if you're using a mobile phone now to watch this, so it can be a resource for you. It can be anything which satisfies our needs. That can be considered as a resource. So next thing, what makes a substance to become a resource? What makes a substance actually to be a resource? So a substance can become a resource only when it has some utility. So what is utility? Utility in the sense usability. Substance when it is used in certain manner, then it can be called as a resource. Like the examples what we took, air. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and chair it is used to sit, and car for driving or traveling. In this way, these things they can be considered as resources. So when we talk about other aspect, the other important feature, that is all the resources they have some value. So this value sometimes it can be measured and it cannot be measured. So we say that it's economic value and aesthetic value. So when we talk about economic value, it can be value in terms of money. When we talk about aesthetic, it cannot be measured, like it cannot be valued in terms of money. Like example, if you take a shirt, if you purchase any shirt from any store, it has got some value. Like it can be 500 or it can be 1000 rupees or 2000 rupees. So, but if you go to a park, if you go to any place, and any, it can be like a beauty of a nature, anything, any scenery, those things they cannot be measured in terms of money, but they are useful, they're satisfying our needs, so we're enjoying it. So then, sir, then it can be considered like a resource. Then, classification of resources. Basically, resources there are three types. One is natural, human, and then human made. And again, the natural it's subdivided into certain parts. So let us discuss these things very clearly. So when we talk about the resource, it is like a natural, man-made, and human. And basically, natural resource is divided, or it is categorized in four different ways. Like first way is origin, then it's based on stock and utility, development, and finally distribution. So when we talk about the word origin, it says like how it started, its nature actually. It's like the nature of the resource. Like it can be abiotic and abiotic. So biotic in the sense all the natural things. So all the natural things uh, and living things can be considered as biotic things. It's very obvious that when we talk about living things like plants and animals. And coming to abiotic, these are also natural things, and but the difference is that they are non-living things. All natural and non-living can be considered as abiotic. The examples are like rock, air, water. These are type of examples we can take. So let us understand it more clearly. Like if you see a mountain, a pen. So can anyone tell what these things belong to? So first thing is very obvious that mountain, pen both are non-living things. So we think that it can be abiotic, but no, because understand here clearly, all non-living things cannot be categorized into abiotic things, because we said that abiotic in the sense it should be a natural and non-living, not just non-living. Now when we come to our point, like mountain, it's a natural and non-living, so it can be an abiotic. But whereas when we come to pen, it is non-living, it's fine, but it's not a natural thing, it's a man-made thing. So it doesn't come under natural resource. So there's a basic difference. And then based on development. So development again it's categorized into two parts like actual and potential. Actual resource very simple to understand. It's ready to use right now. We have some technology. We have everything which is ready to use. It's like instant thing, like what we use now: coal, gold, trees, or like land, sand. All a very regular thing what we use in our daily life. Everything can be considered as actual resource. Coming to potential, potential in the sense it is a resource which can be useful in future, because right now we may not have that type of technology to utilize them. Example like uranium, it is used in different ways right now, but not in the full extent. So those things it might be useful later on. Like example, if you see the wind, 100 years ago, the wind, people doesn't know how to extract electricity from the wind, or like solar energy, how to extract electricity from solar energy. It was not available before 100 years ago. So those things they were potential at that time. Now they became actual. That is the difference between potential and actual. Then coming to distribution. So based on distribution, like it's like availability. So certain things which are available everywhere, those things we call them as ubiquitous resources. Like example, air, water, sunlight, they are available everywhere. And localized, if you see localized, it's a local thing. It's available only in one place or a specific place. Example like mineral deposits. Like if you take gold deposit, it is not found everywhere. Like sand is there, sand is found everywhere. But this gold mine or like a coal mine, they are available only in certain areas, so they can be called as localized. Then based on stock or utility, so it's like a renewable and non-renewable resources. So renewable resources which they get replenished by themselves, non-renewable which they cannot replenish or it takes a very longer time. So hence it's not so simple thing to get replenished. Now, plants, air, water, all these things they can be renewable. Coming to non-renewable like fuel, fossil fuels, gold, coal, we keep on using them and they get exhausted. So that can be called as non-renewable. Now coming to, as we said, these all are different things which comes under natural. But whereas another aspect that is man-made, uh, using natural things, man creates certain things. Those things are called as man-made things. So how to categorize them? Just simple thing to remember is that except natural, rest all are man-made things. Okay, all the things whatever is found on the planet of the earth, except this except plants and animals, rest all can be considered as man-made things. And then coming to final category, human resource. So out of all these three resources, human can be considered as a very important resource. The reason is because they have a skill and intelligence. If you see here, this natural resource can be turned into a man-made. Like example I'll give. See, we have a tree, we have a wood. So a man is cutting the tree, is making wood, and with wood he's making a chair. In this way, we have different things. This skill and intelligence, these things will make a substance into a useful thing. Means the utility to the resource is added by the skill and intelligence of human, because with his skill and intelligence you know how to use the things properly in a better way. So hence the human resource can be considered as a very important resource then all these three. Then coming to other important aspect of this topic, that is a sustainable development. See, we say human resource is an important resource. On the name of important resources, like on the skill of intelligence, is just keeping on exploiting all the natural things, just trying to utilize for his own wish. Now, sustainable development says that balancing the need of resources and also conserve them for future use. So, just we are not allowed just to keep go on using these resources. We have to use them in balanced manner and conserve them for future, like future generations. Like if we are keeping on using this fuel, and once if they get exhausted, and what about future? How do they use? Hence, that's why we have different inventions now. Like people, they go with eco-friendly things, like electric bikes or e-bikes. Like even in a household, like you people, you can use a bicycle instead of using these cars or scooters or bikes, which things. And the problem is that try to avoid fuel consumption, and not only this, even electricity or like other resources, these things it is very better if you use as little as possible. Let us not waste it simply. And then resource conservation, it's a similar thing again, using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. Like if you have the water resource, underground water is there. If you go on taking this water, extracting water from underground, and there can be a time that you may not get any water from underground. We should allow some time. We should allow it to get replenished or to get renewed. So these things is called as resource conservation. So these are different type of things which I have discussed. Let us recap again what all we discussed. Actually, we discussed first thing about a resource, and then we classified these resources, and then we learned about natural things, and that abiotic, biotic. Then we learned about this development and distribution, and then we learned about man-made things, and we learned about human resource and how they are important. Then we learned about sustainable development. We learned about resource conservation. So these are different things which are to be covered in this concept. So I just made a small effort in a small video to cover different type of concepts. So that's it for this topic. And finally, it's very very important, because as we use different type of resources which are created by the God, so be grateful to God for all his creation with the beautiful resources. Let us be grateful. And finally, thank you all, and I'm signing off, your Manikant. Bye bye.